Hi and welcome to one of my vintage i5 videos. Now this one's for everyone really, it doesn't have to be vintage, it can be brand spanking new, just a little test you can do at your own risk, but as long as you do it correctly you shouldn't have any problems. It's just to measure the balance of your amplifier, of both channels coming out exactly the same. They both level with your balance control and wherever your volume is, they stay level throughout your listening experience. So just something that I've kind of like been pondering myself over the last few months, been noticing that some of these amplifiers, I can't really show you on this one because this balance is like, it actually stops in the middle, and it's, well, you can do it, but it's more easy to show on this one. If this was your balance control, say, now what I noticed is when I turned it all the way to the left, it would hit number 5 or number 10, depending what number it was down the bottom. I noticed when I swung it over the other side, it didn't always stop on number 5 or 10, it may stop short, it may go past. So theoretically, one side stopping, nearer the 10 than the other, so to speak. One would go past it, one would stop, bang on it or whatever. So when you actually put it in the middle, theoretically that wouldn't actually be in the middle. If this side was slightly favoured, you would have to kind of like turn it back this way a little bit. So I just wondered, did that actually make much of a difference to your listening experience? Because I mean, obviously most people sit bang on with 2 speakers and try and get it so you're dead centre to the 2 speakers. I know everyone don't, but most people kind of go for that experience. And you wouldn't want to buy an amplifier or have an amplifier where you thought it was bang centre and you got one speaker lower than the other. So I started measuring these pots, these balance controls, to make sure they actually in the middle, where it was in the middle, it was perfectly balanced. So in this next video I'm going to show you here is going to show you where I've got a pot, and I picked a few different ones I've had, and this one was on the board, so this is the one I've used, but all of them pretty much the same, to be honest with you. And I bought them from different reputable companies. Admittedly, these are small pots, these are little pots, and amplifiers these would be slightly bigger in most, not all of them, but most of them would be slightly bigger. So the slightly bigger they are, probably the more accurate they're going to be as the track goes round. But in this video here, you're going to see me measure dead centre a pot. It's dead centre, and I'm going to measure the resistance from one side to the other, and this would be used as a balance control. So let me talk through that video as we go now. Okay, I've dead centred this left hand pot, and as you can see I've got it wide up to measure the resistance on each side. This would be used as a balance control basically. So yeah, the line there is dead centre. I've double checked it. Hopefully it comes out dead centre on the camera, but that's dead centre, and as you can see there are about 100 ohm, well no, about 90 ohms out either side. One's reading 563, one's reading 654. This is a 1K, but obviously you've got that 20% tolerance. So if we kind of try and level this up, I think I've got to go this way if I remember correctly. It's not, we're not going to get it. One of them's 1 ohm out, but we're nearly balanced now. As you can see, it's just moved probably a quarter of an inch, I would have said maximum. I've had to move it towards the right hand side there. Hopefully that's picked you up on the camera, just to get that balance, just to show you that, I mean, I can't remember, it's about there, I think somewhere around there. It's dead centre. So that just shows you that they can be out. Admitting it's a small pot, don't forget, rather than the bigger ones, so they should be a bit more accurate. But just to give you an idea that they can be out. And as you can see, that pot wasn't exactly balanced, and I've got about 6 or 7 pots I did it with, to be honest with you, and they're all exactly the same. One side, none of them were dead centre, dead on. There's always some kind of slight variation in resistance from one side to the other. And I've noticed this with a volume control as well. Now the volume control is a two pots on the volumes for stereo, and I've noticed that not always the resistance on one pot from one side of the pot to the other was exactly the same as the second variable resistor in that pot. That would be a different. That track there would have actually, from there to there, from top to bottom, will be different from this actual variable resistor top to bottom as well. So it weren't perfectly matched up anyway, and also exactly the same. Depending where it was, the resistance between the centre or the wiper to either side would be different as well. So yeah, it got me thinking. Well, does that actually make a difference inside the amplifier? So I thought, well, there's only one way I can do it. I mean, I haven't got any oscilloscopes here or anything like any sensitive measuring equipment. So all I've used, which anyone can do really, is I've downloaded a 1 kHz track, and it's I measured. I've got a little meter here that actually measures the frequency, and that was bang on 1 kHz. It's bang stereo as well, so you know it's a stereo track, but it is bang stereo. It's not one side's not, you know, so it's a proper track, and we can see the track playing here. Now what I've got it here, hopefully you can see. I've got it on my CD player now. What I've done, I've burnt it to CD, this track. I've got it on my CD player, and as you can see, this is what we've got to look out for in my videos, is where these 2 meters are here. Hopefully you can see them in the video. I couldn't pan in or anything because I wanted to show you the amp and actually everything playing in action. I didn't want it like just this bit and you'll think I'm tinkering around down the bottom. I don't do anything like that. It is what it is. And this runs dead square, dead level should I say, just give you an idea on the track. Dead level, there you go. And just to prove that, I can hopefully get my mouse to work, and I'll just knock down the sensitivity here, and it stayed dead level. I mean, I've tested it, I won't tell any lies, it stays dead level all the way through, doesn't matter where it is, it's dead level. So that's something just to bear in mind. Like I say, I've got it coming through the headphone socket here, I've done it through the phone note at the back, exactly the same. So I'm leaving it the headphones so you can see where it's plugged in. This is how I've done it. I've plugged this into one of my PCs, well in fact, I've plugged it into, I think I've tried 4 PCs. I've actually got 6 PCs here. I'll take a picture and show you 3 of them all clustered up together. I've used Audacity. This is the program I'm using, and it was exactly the same on all of them. The Audacity. So I mean, I've done 1 or 2 apps. I didn't do all of them, but I've done 1 or 2, and they was exactly the same. So the rest are going to be the same. So I've stuck with this main PC. It's an i3, so it's powerful enough anyway. So it's a good PC. Yeah, and I've just plugged that into the sound card, into the recorder part of the sound card. From here into the recorder part of the sound card to see what levels we're getting on different amplifiers. So the video run, just a few things to bear in mind. This is the wave. Keep an eye on this. You will notice, hopefully, if you can't see that, you may notice that one's slightly bigger than the other, to give you an idea which amplifier receiver is actually out. Just make sure I haven't missed anything before we show. All the amplifiers, by the way, have been on for 20 or 30 minutes. So I've given them plenty of time to warm up. Been playing a few CDs in that time, you know, at a reasonable volume. Talking about volume, I haven't gone mad. I think I've gone up to about number 4, which is loud enough for me when I have it downstairs. I normally have it on about number 3, to be honest with you. So number 4, that'd be a fairly comfortable listening. Any higher than that would be quite loud. Nothing that I really listen to. So I haven't tested any amplifiers beyond that point. They've all been from 0 to about 4. So you'll notice that some balance controls will take more effect than others as I do the tests, and that's really it. Really, I think yeah, this kind of, I thought this actually leveled out, but it doesn't. In the video, I think I may have said to you that this may, like, actually as you get towards the end, start leveling itself out, kind of counterbalancing what I'm doing, but it doesn't. It actually goes, as you can see, all the way through. If I bring this up, it goes all the way through, right? Because I actually did stop most of them about -12, somewhere around there, -18. Didn't want to bring it all the way up to the top, but anyway, some of the sensitivity is slightly different to others, and I think these, you know, this is in the dB range. This is it starts off about -54 and goes up to 0 dB on there. All the pots have been cleaned before I've done the test as well. So that's it really. So yeah, just going to show you all these videos in action. You may want to skip some, but there is some discrepancies, you know, between different tuners and whatever, different receivers and amplifiers and whatever. I have got some more to test, but I think this was enough to kind of give you an idea that they can be out, kind of thing. So we'll come back after the video. Quite a long video, this one. We'll come back and I'll give my final thoughts on what I think may be happening. Okay, I've got the volume on 0. This is my Superscope R1220. The volume's on 0, but even as it got sensitivity quite high, it's the graph quite high, so to speak. It's still a bit of leakage coming through. You won't be able to hear it, and this actual headphone socket actually cuts out the speakers, so that's a shame. So you won't actually be able to hear the tone on this one. But anyway, what we do, we're going to get up to a kind of level to where it was showing a minute ago through the CD player, or a while back, depending where I actually put this video. So if we get it up there, that's about, you know, that's on number 4 now of the amp stroke receiver, and as you can see, both them meters are dead level. And just to prove, I'm going to pan left and right, and on this here it actually does take quite a bit of movement before anything happens. And as I go down, we're gradually seeing it just slightly moving now, and you can see at the bottom it's moving. and there also. Hopefully you can see that. So there it's coming right down to, and we cut that channel right out, and even with it cut out we're getting a very slight bit there, and we go right over the other side, and they're swapping about, and as you can see it's pretty much the same. So we get it back to the middle, and that looks fine as it happens. I mean, that's nothing out. They're both exactly right. But you will notice on this, it's been on like all my amps now, half hour. And when I start turning the volume down, you will notice that one of the channels, there's a very slight difference there. The volume's on number 2 now. It's a very, very slight difference. If you're actually looking at the scale there, one's reading probably minus 25, 20, and the other one's about 26 minus. So it's just one difference there. But as we come down there, you'll see that bottom track, which is the right hand channel, creeping right down now. Look, where one's on, say, well, minus 42, the other one's on minus 48. That's a very low volume. So what we'll actually do, we'll take this out, and you can just about hear that. Even though it sounds pretty much the same there, there's a very slight difference you can hear. Okay, next is a Marantz 2216B receiver. So we'll see, as you can see, it's on 0 and it's nice and flat both channels. So we shall pump up the volume and see what happens. I will turn the speakers off again but as I move it up. But as you can see, let's just go back again. Hopefully you can see that it's moving up. Very, very slight difference between them, if anything. A little slight difference, and we're going to get rid of the speakers. And just continue. And we're going to bring it up. And as you can see, that's going uniform all the way. That's really nice. That's come out really nicely. We'll just take it up to 8 and go a little bit further. Bang on all the way there. And we're going to bring it back down again. I'm just going to show the, this ain't actually got a, some of these got a click, this hasn't got a click, but with these Marantzes, or the ones I've got anyway, it's quite a way round before we start getting some movement, then it is quite rapid. So we'll bring it back round to where it was, and we're going to take the volume down, just keep an eye on the red bar and also the graph, and we'll stop it there. Now this is where a lot of them kind of go one channel louder than the other, and you could argue that one channel is very, very slightly louder than the other there, but it's only slight. And a bit of this volume here, one very, very slightly louder than the other at that volume, and we'll bring it down until it, just going to try and get one to come on all by itself, and it's, there you go, just getting one just coming on. So we'll try and listen to that as well. We'll move the balance. Oops, that's a, yeah, it's still coming through the other speaker, just. So there you go. That's pretty good, really. So yeah, be pleased with the outcome of that one. That's for certain. Okay, now we've got a Pioneer 330. I think this is, no, sorry, Pioneer SX300. Okay, I quite like this little unit as it happens, but we're going to see there's a slight little problem with this one as we go along. Anyway, let's give it a go. I'm going to go with the speakers, but I'm going to turn them off if I can. There we go. A bit loud. In fact, I want to get it to about there. It starts leveling off at about 18. And if I go about there, I'll give you a sense of the volume as well. That's there. Yeah, one reads about minus 24, and the other was about, I guess, minus 22, something like that. That's with a balance dead on. So we can level that up there, and that really giving the balance about number 1 towards the left hand side to balance that up there. I'm going to put it back, and it's going to be a bit more apparent as we go further and further down. They seem to lose quite a bit apart. You can tell by ear as well. You know, hopefully, and if you rewind the video or whatever, you may notice that on some others as well. If you can't quite see that, you will see the gap of them as well. Yes, as you can see, if we actually put the speakers, one side's really, really low, and the other one quite high. But if I just take it down a tad more, there's nothing there at all on that side. We bring the other side in, and as you can see, it's flat one side, and we're still getting about -48 on the other channel. So there, yeah, that's a a fine example of a low volume one. Being a little bit troublesome if you've got it on a low volume. You're going to have one speaker working basically. But yeah, as we creep up and we move up and up and up, they do start to catch each other up. If I can just turn that off, and we go up a bit further, they start leveling out about -18 there. Right, so that's that one. That's a Pioneer 330. Okay, this is a Sansui 331. As you can see with the volume on 0, this is actually panning out to nothing. It actually is fully cutting off, unlike some of the others. Okay, as normal, everything's on dead centre, bass, treble and balance. So we're going to turn it up to the kind of level we had before, which is about there-ish, I think. And as you can see, that's coming out spot on. No difference there at all on that I can see. So we'll just do the balance, and this balance is a bit more responsive than some of them. It kind of comes in fact, I'm just going to turn that down a little bit because it's going through my ear holes. Yeah, the balance is a bit more, you can see there that it takes effect pretty much straight away, the balance on here. Just a little turn will give you anyway, so that pans out nicely. So what we'll do, we're going to bring the volume down to a lower level, just make sure we've got the balance dead at the centre again, and we bring it down slightly, and as you can see, hopefully, there's a very slight difference at the top there, probably about 1 dB, that's all, hardly anything at all, as we're bringing the volume down, and you can hear the level. Now as we come here, a very low volume, the difference is a bit more. It's round about, I guess, 3 or 4 dB, I would have said, difference there, but as you can hear, a very low volume anyway. We're probably on number 1, and then we cut off. So there you go. So yeah, not a lot of difference there. That's pretty nice. That's okay. I think we're settled for that. No problems at all there. Okay, now onto an old Grotel RX 150. As you can see, with the volume actually on 0, it's still a little bit coming through there on that. But anyway, we'll whiz it up, and we'll get it to a reading about there. I don't need it too loud so you can hear me. But yeah, I've probably got it under that number 2. Let's put it number 3. And also just get it up and actually get it there as well. As you can see, hopefully you can see, one's reading, I'm going in -12 and an estimate, the other one's probably about a -14, so probably about 2 dB. I've done it a couple of times with this receiver. It's about 2 dB difference, so to get that right or correct that up, we're going to have to move that volume, that balance control quite a bit there. And as you can see, they're perfectly balanced now, and it's about 2 notches to the left, so balance that up, so 2 notches there. And as I said before, bass and treble, nothing. So anyway, we go back to where it was, get that dead centre. Is that dead centre? Not quite, it's hard to see from here. And it's just slightly changed there. Yeah, still about, I won't actually touch that. It's about a 2 dB difference there. So that's that one, so we'll move on to the next one. Okay, next one we've got is a Sanyo DCX 2000 receiver. Now it's off, but I can just slightly hear it. You're probably not going to pick it up out of one of the speakers here, and it's actually showing up, as you can see. If I listen very carefully, I can just about hear it. So one side of this volume is letting a squeaky bit out. Anyway, we're going to whiz it up a bit. We'll get it to about there-ish, I think. And as you can see, just one channel, just slightly down, very slightly, about 1 dB, that's all. Balance control is dead in the centre. I'll try to mark that so you can see it, but it's dead centre. So what we're going to do, I know where to go, it's about there, it's about 1 notch, about 3/4 of a notch to the left, and that balances it up nicely there. So that's that. What I'm going to do though is put it back to where it was and start bringing the volume down. And as you can see, right towards the end, this is quite common with most of them now. There's a discrepancy there, a rough guess of about 2, probably 3 dB there, right towards the very low end. If you just about hear it, maybe not, I'm not too sure if you're picking that up, but it's right towards the end, and if I was to balance that, I would have to turn that just over a notch. But like I say, it's very low volume, but just something I thought I mentioned, and it does seem to happen on a few of these now. Low volume, it just seems to lose its way, and you can see there the low volume, it's dead centre. Quite a difference in the gap between the two outputs there. Okay, got a Sony here now, I think it's a 7030, something like that, 7025 or something. I'll stick up on the bottom anyway so you can see which one it is. I better get my CD back to that actual track I'm playing. It seems to have wandered off there. Okay, so this is a dual volume control one. It's left and right on the volume control, no balance, bass and treble on 0. So we'll whiz it up anyway. We'll get it to a reading, not it too loud. It starts screeching my ear holes. There, minus 12 there, and probably minus, what's that, 16, probably, oh it's not 16, sorry, minus 13, 14, probably about minus 14 there. Yes, turn that down a bit actually, it's a bit too loud. Yeah, probably about minus 14, if we quickly do it anyway, so they measure up. That's a bit nearer. I'm going to bring it down so you can hear me. And there you can see there, that particular volume there, I've levelled them up, but they're quite a bit out. So if I put them back to where they should be and go back to that volume, yeah, I'll try and level them up again at minus 24 there. As I go forward, they start to creep out a little bit. As I go back, yeah, so you've got to kind of get your sweet spot there for the volume you're actually at with this one. It's not so consistent. Okay, the light's dimming a bit and it's all black, but in front of us we've got a Sansui AU101 amplifier now. Pretty much the same setup. So right, let's go then. And as you can see, I'll just turn it down so you can hear me. As you can see, I'm doing it at minus 18 there, and I just make sure that balance ain't actually in the middle there, to be honest with you. There it is. So there's minus 18, and it's pretty much spot on there. It's pretty much spot on minus 18. Bring it up to 18 there, and the other reading, and we're going to go down a little bit. Minus 24, it's fractionally out, not a lot. As we move down, it slightly becomes a little bit more out, as we see in some of these amplifiers. I did notice that that volume there, even though we're balanced, as you can see, one channel, admittedly it's minus 48 dB, but admittedly, well, I'll take it's minus 48. It is hard to tell, but it depends why the actual input setting, but yeah, just about hear it there. So if I actually flick the balance around, that's the channel we can hear, and there's the balance the other way, and we can't hear a sausage. Okay, now we're going with Marantz 1530L, basically Marantz 1530, it's just got the long wave on it, so nothing to worry about there. I've actually, I've had the speakers on for a second, but give me a bit of a headache, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I'll go up to one more notch. It's quite loud, believe it or not, so I'll go a bit further. I'll bring it up to there, so yeah, as you can see, it's near enough bang on level there. So is the balance dead level? Yeah, because it's got its actual click, this balance, a little click. And it's another one of them that has to be quite a way before anything happens on the balance. You get to about there and nothing. So it does take a while to get somewhere before it actually kicks in, that balance. Okay, yeah, so that particular volume, we're dead level. We're going to bring it down like we usually do. Hopefully you can see what's happening here. Yeah, I think you can. And there you go, it's just a little bit out towards the end. So if we wanted to bring that correct, which way is it? It's the wrong way. It's this way, don't forget it's minus 54, and to get that about right, it's a little bit touchy, but it's about there. As you can see, that balance is quite a way over before it actually does anything really. Yeah, so quite a big spread on that balance before anything happens, but there you go, it's quite good there. I mean, it's very low volume now. If I actually put the speakers on, Okay, I hope you found that fairly interesting. Yeah, just a little experiment I did. What did I actually learn out of that? I think, well, you know, what's causing some of these amplifiers? Don't forget these are old amplifiers as well. And what do I think is probably causing the problems with some of them? It could be a combination of some of the balance controls and the volume control, where one balance control is out quite a bit to one side, and the volume control, that pot that's on that side, is quite a bit out, so there's quite a big gap between them. It could quite easily be that. It could be the aging components as well, obviously, like some of the capacitors and other bits and pieces in there. Could be like on one side of the circuit, you know, not so sensitive as the other side of the circuit, not quite doing their job properly. So it could quite easily be that. So yeah, it's one of the two probably that's causing that. And I will at some stage, some of these that are quite a bit out, I'll probably start changing a few capacitors, maybe trying to level them up at some stage, maybe in a project to do, another video maybe, or something like that when I get a chance. So that's it, yeah. So really it's a simple test. Like I say, you just got to have a lead from your DVD player or a source that's going to play back this 1 kilohertz tone, and just link up to a free program, Audacity, and you can do the test on your own PC to check your amplifier out and make sure it's dead balanced, and that gives you an idea if it is or not. And also, if you know, kind of think of the level you're going to be playing it at, you know, and have it up on there and have a look. And if you're slightly out, then you can adjust the balance control to level them out, and then you know your amplifier's dead on at that kind of volume. Maybe, you know, just something to think about. But yeah, just a video I thought I'll put up that, you know, I thought was quite interesting. You know, you think, you know, it sounds okay. When I was listening to some of these before, and with the test tone before I started actually doing the readings, I thought, oh yeah, it sounds quite balanced. It sounds good. You know what I mean? That's okay. And when I actually put it up on there, I thought, oh, one speaker is a few dB louder than the other. Yeah, it is hard to tell sometimes, especially like if you're playing like any music track really, because you're not going to know exactly what sounds or whatever's supposed to be coming out of what speakers and what volume, so to speak. So yeah, you know, maybe when it's going fast, as obviously things are happening fast as well. So you know, sometimes you need to slow things down or get a graph to actually tell you what's happening. So yeah, hopefully you found that fairly interesting. Sorry it's another long video and you probably skipped through quite a bit of it, but that's my final thoughts on that. And we'll come. In fact, I'm going to show this video next. I think it's I mended that VU meter there, the tuning meter, with a USB drive. So that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Okay, see you soon.